Hey Divas, welcome or welcome back. It's your girl Keisha here with another video, and today we're going to be closing out the first week of August in our 90-day budget workbook. So if you like budgeting, cash stuffing, sinking funds, savings challenges, planning, organization, every and all things, girl, that got to do with your money, I would love for you to subscribe, but more importantly, don't move. All right, girl, so we are closing out the first week in August, which is right here. This is the first budget. And I have written down all my expenses that took place for the first week. So what we're going to do is three-step process here. So the first thing we're going to do is close out the budget. That means I'm just going to make sure everything I budgeted for, if I haven't done so already, fill in what actually hit my account. We're going to, highlight all of our expenses. And then the most important part of closing out my budget is to do my weekly check-in. I'm going to start this. I start this every month. I write down all my categories, and each week I just write down how much I spend in each category. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and highlight our expenses and see what we spent in each category this first week. So I have my little messy pen situation. It's a mess right now, but it should be right here off to the side. So I use the highlight method, and that I love this method. It just makes it easier for me to identify my transactions. It organizes my expenses. Just one more step in addition to categorizing my expenses. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I will walk you through once I'm done. Okay, now that we've highlighted all the expenses, step 2 in closing out the budget is now we actually have to close out the budget. So I'm just going to pretty much do a check and balance. So make sure that all the expenses, all the transactions that I had during this period is accounted for somewhere on this budget breakdown. I already started doing some of the work, but we're going to finish up the rest of that, okay? So the first thing I've already filled in was all my income for this week. So let's go ahead and add it up and compare it to what I actually budgeted. I like to use a different color when I'm actually closing the budget out. Okay, so what I projected and what I actually had was pretty much almost on target, just $25 more. Let me count. Let me do this again. I shouldn't have had that much of a difference. I was like, that's way too high. Okay. Yep, so we're pretty much identical. I mean, the only difference is that when I do the budget, I use whole numbers, and when I do the actual, I actually, put the actual amount, and it has some change in there. So my actual income for the first week in August was $13,825.96. So now as far as my bills go, I started filling them in. So sometimes when they hit my account, because I like to do my expense tracker daily, every night or so I will come and fill it in. Doesn't always happen like that, but that's really what I try to do. So I'll just come in and fill it in. But there's some things I haven't done. So I'm just going to go through here and make sure everything I budgeted, I actually have written out here. That's why you'll see some check marks. That means I've already accounted for them on this main page here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so now all my main bills are what I projected. Oh, Apple, let me see. I didn't have any Apple. That's crazy. I am surprised by that. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and total everything up and see how close I am to what I actually budgeted. Okay, so I actually spent $6,233.92, which is a little less than what I actually projected to spend. And let me see where that difference came in at. Okay, my mortgage. I was way over my mortgage. I had $2,700, It was actually $2,617. So I gotta do a little better with my mortgage amount. You know, I'm over projecting. It's okay to fluff my budget, but that's like an $80 difference. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we're gonna subtract my income, my actual income, some of my actual bills, and see what we have. Okay, so we have $7,592.04 remaining. Now let's come down here to long-term savings. I didn't do anything the first week. So I didn't do anything, so that brings that total amount down. Now let's come over to our variable expenses. I'm just gonna carry over that same amount. Okay, now this is where the work comes in. So all of our bills hit. And now for my everyday transactions. So going to the grocery store, getting gas, like all of those things, the variable expenses, those are the things that I'm gonna have to, oh, I did have another bill here. I do have another bill here. And then we just, where can I put, oh, I'll put it down here. Okay, that's fine. I've already written it in down here. I had another bill that I did not write there. Okay, so back to what I was saying. So now I'm going to, for allowance, I did actually spend $232, so that's right. Now for groceries, I budgeted $600, so let's see exactly how much I spent this first week. That's why the highlighted method works so well here, because now my eye can just easily go to anything that is purple, okay? Or anything that says groceries. So I can just slide down the page and just simply stop when I see this. Okay, this was a big week in groceries, and mainly because I did a lot of back to school stuff, buying like bulk snacks. You know, the supermarket always times it knowing that you're going back to school. So I got, you know, a ton of chips and snacks and all of those things the kids need to take to school during lunch and after school snacks. So I think we're good, not only for the month, but I think I can, if I manage accordingly, I could probably make it to the next month too, okay? So I spent $431.81. So the difference, let me just do a quick little math here. So $168 is what I'll have left for the rest of the month in my grocery budget. And we did buy a lot of produce, well, not produce, protein, like chicken and stuff like that. So I think we should be good. I think we can make it through the month without going over our grocery budget. Okay, next, same drill. We're gonna do eating out. We didn't do much eating out this week, so that should be a quick one. Okay, $35.46. Let me make sure. Oh, nope, I have one more over here. Okay, so eating out, we spent $37.07. Okay. Households next. Let's see. So we did go over our budget this week, $47.90. But I'm still okay with that because for my monthly budget, I believe, what did I budget for household items? I budgeted $80 for household items. So overall, I'm still within budget. I just went over the budget for this week. If I would have done household like groceries, like I should have written the entire amount of $80 instead of $40, I would have been within my budget, but that's fine. Okay, let's see what we have for gas. Okay, we spent $56 in gas this week. We only had to fill up one time. So you see, I did it for miscellaneous. So miscellaneous, I budgeted $100 for the entire month. That's what I should have done for household. So I'll fix that for paycheck number 2. Okay, let's see what we have for miscellaneous. Girl, miscellaneous this week was so funny. So the first thing, miscellaneous, the Dollar Tree. Something about when you go in a Dollar Tree, you just about have to pick up something from that little snack aisle. So I think I got a candy. And then I had to stop at CVS. I was at my daughter's soccer practice. I was so thirsty. And CVS was the closest thing, but I spent $3 on a drink. Girl, I was so mad. And then the Tooth Fairy came the other day, so she had to pay up. So miscellaneous was a little expensive this week. Okay, I've already did the coffee for this week was $10. Beauty, all I spent was $6 this week because my mother-in-law actually paid for my pedicure. So I just gave a little $6 tip. It was a whole, my mother-in-law got her toe done and they cut a little piece of her skin, but it was so much bleeding. It was so bad. So our pretty much our entire thing was just about free. So I just gave $6 to my lady because she was good. Okay, kids, let's see how much we spent on kids. Girl, my kids are still costing me money. I spent a whopping $86 on them this week. That's a couple things. My son, I bought him a water bottle during my whole back to school buying stuff, but he wanted a like a metal bottle to keep the water cold. I understood that. I bought my daughter some headphones during Amazon Prime Day, but the headphones were like too small, so now the deal was gone, so I had to get her headphones that cost $17. And girl, I went to Sam's Club. Let me know in the comments below if you get stuff from Sam's Club. Let me get a little drink. Sam's Club mainstay, what is their brand? I forgot. Their clothing line, particularly when it comes to joggers and sweatpants, is on point. Do you hear what I'm saying? Like, the quality is so good. It's so thick. And I've gotten my son and my husband every single jogging set, the pants and the sweater, because it's a good price. You can get the pants and the jacket for about $25. And again, it's good quality. They sold it separate. So I'm just talking about, like, you know, total. And so they had those. And I got my youngest son, I've never seen them in like size 10. So I got my oldest son a set and my youngest son a set. And this is what I was saying in my previous videos, that when I'm buying my kids clothes, I pretty much shop year round when I see stuff. So I know they're not going to use the joggers right now, but the thing with Sam's Club and Costco too, when you see the clothes, you got to get them, girl, because it's not like it's a store where, you know, it's going to get refilled all the time. So anyway, that's how I spent a little bit more than I projected to spend this month, girl, on them kids, because I thought I was done. I thought I was done with these kids, but I don't think you're ever done with your kids, to be honest. Next is fun. So fun, we didn't do much things that were fun, but I did buy a bottle of wine. So I put that under fun because I don't want to mix that up with my groceries, because it's not my grocery. And the ice cream truck came in our neighborhood, so I spent $16 this week. And then we have shopping. Shopping, I'm surprised. Is that it? Let me just make sure. Okay. Shopping, $37 this week on shopping. Now, let me just go through and make sure. So before I add all this up, there's some other categories that came in that I didn't account for in my budget, like my business expenses. So there are little things that I pay for, and I want to make sure I capture that. Like, I got some freelance work done. I had to get some material from Amazon, and I bought some stuff from Hobby Lobby. Okay, so for my business expenses, I'm gonna jump down right here. 52.24. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. And wellness, I did not account for that, but we needed some. My husband uses BC when he has a headache, so he needed some BC. I use ibuprofen. Okay, so all my expenses have been accounted for. Now let's go ahead and wrap this closeout up. So now let's go ahead and add everything up and see how much we actually spent. Okay, so for the first week in August, for my variable expenses, I spent $973.24. Now we're going to go ahead and bring it down to my savings challenge and sinking funds. So I did stuff what I said I was going to stuff. I stuffed 401 in my travel binder and 215 in my holiday binder. I have not posted those videos yet, but I did do those amounts. And then right here, these are not sinking funds or savings challenges, but these are just extra things that hit my account this week that I didn't account for anywhere else. So I'm just using this section as a little spillover. Okay, so so I really don't want to add this in my sinking funds and savings challenges. I really should have added it up there. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Let me rework this for a second, then I'll explain what I'm doing. Okay, so these expenses really are variable expenses. So I should have accounted for it under here. So that means the first week in July, I really actually spent $1,107.48 because I'm including these extra expenses that I did not account for. So even though I'm writing them here, they are actually should be accounted for in this category. So now that I had adjusted my numbers, so now that I actually spent $1,107.48, that brings my, when I subtract that from what I had remaining, I have $6,484.56. So we're going to bring that down. So now for this section, I'm only focusing on these two. Okay. That's my travel binder and my holiday binder. That's $616. So when I minus the $616 from the $648.84, I have $580.58.68.53. Okay. Let's bring that down. $58.68.53. Okay, so because this section is debt and savings, I could leave this debt payment that I made down here. So I spent $200 there. So that means I'm actually rolling over. Okay, so that means I'm rolling over next week with $5,668.56. Okay, and that's subtracting the $200 that we spent on that debt payment. So that leaves me with $0 remaining. Again, it's $0, even though I have $5,668 left. I've given it an assignment, and that is to roll over to next week. So just not hanging out. So once you do all of that, and you subtract everything, I have $0 left. Okay, so that's how I close out the first week. And step 3, the final step of closing out my weekly budget, is actually writing it in. Because again, honestly, what is the point? I don't want to say what is the point, but honestly, what is the point of doing the budget, doing your monthly budget, doing your budget, if you're not really seeing, if you really can't tell if what you're doing is working? So how this page works is that I'll just write down all my categories. These are my categories, right? Every dollar I spend can fall within one of these categories. It took me some time to really figure out what categories make sense to how I spend my money. You might categorize your expenses differently. Like I separate groceries and eating out. You may just want a food category, right? You just throw everything in one category. So it just depends. Even for like auto I put under transportation, but I have a gas category because I really want to see how much I'm spending on gas. So your categories might be slightly different. You might bundle yours, but for me, works for me. So I have a lot of categories. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill it out. I'm going to fill in the categories. I'm going to fill in the totals, and then I'll be back to give you a quick recap and finish out this week 1 closeout. Okay, I've written down all the categories, and some of the work is pretty simple. So I'm going to go in and fill in what I already know. and then I'll show you what the other stuff. So I didn't do any giving this week. I didn't do any gifts. We didn't do any investments. The dog, no travel, no holidays. So the first week was my actual anniversary, but I'm gonna account for any expenses in the second week. So you'll see that here in next week. And I spent money in every other category. So let's go ahead and get the data, right? So first things first, income. We already established the income I had for the first week. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill that in. Okay, next is groceries. We've already done that. $431.81. Eating out, $37.07. Household, $47.90. Gas, $56. Beauty, I told you I spent $6. Miscellaneous, $11.84. Allowance, $2.32. Fun, $16.35. Coffee was $10. My kids, $86.56. Oh, let me take that back. That is not true. I'll explain that in a second. Okay, shopping, $37.81. 71. Okay, and wellness, $7. Okay, so now there are categories here I need to add up and fill in. So a perfect example of that will be my debt. All right, so even though my debt I accounted for here as bills, here to get the full category amount, I just need to add up how much I spent in the debt category. Okay. Okay, so in total, I spent $922.43 in debt. Okay, for my auto, I already know, not counting the gas, but for my car note, I pay a little extra, so it's $800. Okay. Next, for the kids. So yes, we do have these one-offs that I spent for my kids. So I'm gonna write that down, $86.56, okay? But when I come off here, there are some big expenses I had that I had to budget for. So my daughter's soccer tournament fee, my son's football fee. There was one more fee here. Oh, it was $191 plus $191.80. I have to fix that. Okay, so this week in total, I spent $880 on the kids. Same thing for my home. So what did I spend on my home this week? My mortgage, $2,617.23. What else? My trash, my home warranty. Okay. So my home this week cost me $2,731.63. Okay. Insurances. I have my mother-in-law's insurance and my medical. Oh. My medical insurance, $60.50. I think that's the other insurance I had this week. So for insurances this week, I spent $159.23. Okay. For subscriptions this week, spent $43.64 on subscriptions this week. My savings, challenges, and sinking funds. So I didn't do any savings challenges this week, but my sinking funds were $616. Okay, and then my business. So business, the one-offs. Now I'm just gonna come here. Okay, now let's add up all my business expenses. So that includes the mortgage for my second house. Okay. So my business expenses this week was $1,673.34. Okay. So that is how I see how much I've spent each week. And then again, my categories never change, so that each week I'll just write how much I'm spending in each particular category. Okay. So I'm going to do a quick tally up and I will know in total how much I spent. And again, the total should be, you know, the same as over here, but I see I already messed up one. My daughter's fee was not this amount. I will fix this off camera. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add this up and see how much I spent in total for the first week in August. Okay, so for the first week of August, I spent $8,116.31 in all of my categories up here. Okay, so that is the last and final step on how I close out my weekly budget. And then next we will go ahead, not in this video, we'll set up paycheck number 2. I've already started filling it out, and that's from the 6th through the 12th. So about the time you see this video, I'll already be a couple days into that. Nonetheless, this is how it looks. So what I really can do, and I really need to start doing, is I can come in here and I can start filling in the numbers as they hit, you know, because there's some things I already know. So like the grocery and eating out, those are ongoing, so I can't, you know, fill that out, or the gas. But things that I know I'm not going to do again, like I'm not going to pay my mortgage again, so I can write that amount. You know, my trash has already come. So there's some things that I can fill out that I know right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. And then doing it as it's fresh in my mind will make it easier for when I actually close the month out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's, like I said, there's some things I can already start filling out, which will make my life much easier at the end. But that is it, girl. I don't want to keep you too long. So I'm glad you stayed to the end. I hope you enjoyed today's video. And if you haven't done so already, girl, I would love you to subscribe to the channel. I hope you're enjoying my content. And leave your girl a comment down below. Let me know how August is looking for you. Are your kids back in school yet? And you know, girl, I'm going to see you with the next one. So I'll talk to you soon. Later.